I'm about to say something that should never ever be said to a grieving family. So brace yourselves, and I know that this will come off as extremely cold, extremely heartless, extremely callous, but you should hear me out. To the family of Kevin Ward, get over it. Get over it and move on. It's been 1 year, one long year, since your son paid the ultimate price for something incredibly, unfathomably stupid. And you're going to bring another lawsuit after the first one was thrown out, after the first one completely exonerated Tony Stewart. 2 days before the 1 year anniversary of your son's death, you're just gonna bring up another one? A wrongful death lawsuit? Yeah, there was a wrongful death, but not on the part of Tony Stewart, on the part of your son. Get over it. Now, I understand that when you're grieving, you're not rational. You've had a year to be irrational. You've had a year to try to put the pieces together. You've had a year to make an informed conclusion. And your conclusion is not informed. Because the video evidence is clear. Your son got out of a car on a racetrack, a darkened part of an already pretty dark racetrack, got out of his car, walked up to a moving car, got in the path of it, grabbed onto the roof, and died. He got ran over because he put himself in that position. And you want to know something else? The kicker? He was high! He was fucking stoned. They found marijuana in his system, but it's still Tony's fault. He still should have moved out of the way. He still should have been Superman. He should have had spider senses, spidey senses, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And he should have been able to see. Out of the... just somehow should have been able to see that he was standing there. You've had a year to make an informed, rational decision. And that informed, rational decision should be to leave Tony Stewart alone and accept that your son was an idiot for doing what he did. He may have been a bright boy overall, but the actions that led to his death were stupid and misguided and idiotic. Just think of how Tony Stewart must feel, having to relive this over and over and over again. Lawsuit after lawsuit, and this probably won't be the only one. You guys are going to lose, and then you're going to bring up another one, maybe a civil suit. And speaking of, this isn't about the pursuit of justice anymore. This is a pursuit of money. Oh, he's rich and famous. He should have to pay for our grief. He should have to pay for our pain and suffering, even if that pain and suffering was brought on by the deceased alone. Just imagine what Tony Stewart has been going through. You think just because he's gotten back behind the wheel of his car in NASCAR, because he's resuming the day-to-day operations of his track, because he's able to carry on with his life, you think that this is just gone? There's water off of his back? You think that this is just something that he doesn't think about anymore? You think that this is something he doesn't grieve over anymore? You think, well, once your kid did a revolution around his tire and got spit out like a rag doll, that he just went, okay. No! You're making him relive this. You're not the only ones grieving. You're not the only ones going through this. But you're just going to keep putting him through litigation. You're going to keep putting him through this because you can't get over it. You want there to be somebody other than Kevin Ward to be at fault. You want somebody else to be to blame. So maybe not only you'll not only sue Tony Stewart, you'll sue the track. You'll sue the person that made the car. You'll sue the person that made the roll cage on the car. You'll sue the person that made the wing on the top of the car. You'll sue the person that made the tires. You'll sue the president of the entire circuit. You'll sue everybody until you get answers and you get justice. Justice does not come from monetary gain. Justice comes from putting the person at blame to justice. And last time I checked, you can't put a dead person on trial. It is time for you to get over it. That is the harsh reality. harsher than the reality that you cannot face, which is your son should not have done what he did. And if he did not do what he did, he'd be alive today. He would be alive today. I guarantee it. Unless some other unforeseeable circumstance befell him, he would be alive and racing today, if not for his actions. I know that when you're grieving, you gotta find somebody else to blame. You know, could it have been this person? Could anybody else have had even the slightest bit of a hand in the death of my son? It was your son and your son alone. It's been a year, okay? Nobody feels sorry for you anymore. Maybe people who unequivocally hate Tony Stewart and will hate him to the end feel sorry for you and want him to be put to justice, but everybody else is like, hey, shut the fuck up already. Move on. Help Tony Stewart move on. Help him try to put this unspeakable, unfathomable, awful tragedy behind him. You think he can't suffer? Or at the very least, do you think that he has to suffer more by opening up his wallet to you? It's ridiculous, and it has gone to a ridiculous length. And as long as you keep pursuing litigation, and as long as you keep trying to blame Tony Stewart, that length will just increase. What's next? Where will it end? Leave him alone. You're not doing yourselves any favors. And you sure as hell are not doing the memory of your son any favors by doing this. Have a good day, folks.